So, the moment has came. Invincible season 3 is here. And Dog Prime has did us a service. Dropped 3 episodes. So far I only watched 1. But I'm doing all 3 episodes in this video. So we're gonna start off with 1, of course. You're not laughing now. So man is left off. Like we done fought a bunch of Viltrumites and stuff, man. Omni-Man has been caught. Alan the alien is trying to get Omni-Man out. Mark is going through a lot of changes and stuff. He knows he has to get stronger. And at the beginning of this episode, Mark, he's fighting a big giant and stuff, man. You like, wow, that's how he's starting off. He handling his business. It ends up that's the giant that fought the Guardians earlier on. It's really a child. He's like probably 8-10 years old or something. But it's like Cecil and them is putting Mark through the paces, and they are training him. So he going through a lot of stuff, man. He picking up all the heaviest objects he can. He flying from the moon to the earth and stuff like that. So they making sure that when the Viltrumites do come back, and they are coming back, then Mark will be able to take them on. Will this work or not? We're gonna find out later, because the Viltrumites, they pretty much almost immortal, and all they do is fight and train and stuff. So he's doing all this training now. They've been doing this for thousands of years and stuff, so it's a little different. Mark and Rex, they end up together on this episode. Somebody is going to steal the Declaration of Independence. Mark is training and they like, yeah, Mark, go take care of that. Go show off some of your new muscles. And Rex is like, oh, so I'm standing right here and you ain't gonna just ask me or nothing? So they end up going. Mark is so strong at this point, Invincible. He is scared to really like show off his powers, because like last time he let himself go, he killed Angstrom leaving. And so he knows he can kill people easily now. And dude, these twins or something, like they not the strongest people in the world. You know, if he really hit them or something, it would be a wrap. But in him holding back, they get bombarded by Duplicate's brother. He has the same powers as Kate. And he blames Rex for his sister dying. And they are beating the hell out of Rex and stuff, man. Invincible gotta save him and stuff like that. Yo, he finally snaps, and it showed like why he can't really let loose like that. He tearing through Duplicate brother like Swiss cheese, man, like tissue paper. Bodies on top of bodies on top of bodies, man. But we do find out that Kate is alive, man. So that is a plus. Another thing that's happening right now, man. So Oliver, he has been taken care of by Invincible's mother or whatever. He's growing and developing at an alarming rate, man. Like he is super smart. He's starting to grow. He's starting to be like almost a teenager and stuff like that. Like they race, grows, ages faster and stuff. But in this episode as well, we see that a lot of the Guardians recover. We see that Duplicate, she's alive. We see that the other girl that was inside homeboy, the serpent or whatever, like she's alive. So a lot of people do recover and stuff, man. So the Guardians, they getting the band back together a little bit. Mark, he has been pushing off like some things, and the older version of Eve came to see him at the end of season 2 and told him, man, tell Eve how you feel about it. If you love her, tell her you love her. If not, then let her go, because it always affected me and I never could move on, because Mark never told me how he felt or whatever. And so he's been avoiding that, but he finally goes to see Eve. And then he was talking to his friends earlier in the episode. He talked about how the older version talked, and he wants to be all the way transparent and be like, yeah, the older version told me that's not the most romantic thing in the world. Like, you only came to see me because an older version told you this. And so they tell him, don't tell her that. What does Mark do? He tells her that the older version, and she's not flattered by that. She is very angry. And the only thing saves them is because Seismic has got out of jail, kidnapped all of the superheroes all across the planet. They are the only two superheroes available on the Earth, other than Oliver. And Oliver is not necessarily a superhero at this point. So they go to the underground, man. They going, and like Seismic of all people, it's like he's a season 1 like crony or something. Like he's not nothing. Nah, he got strong. Well, he has more allies, and these monsters under the earth, they are like almost invincible as well. Like they have been forged under the earth under so much pressure, just like on Black Panther with Namor's people and whatever. So they are super strong and durable, kicking Mark in them ass. And so Mark and them gets dusted off. Cecil jumps the gun and he sends backups. But the backups that he sends Darkwing, who is a killer, supposed to be in jail or whatever. Then he sends them cyborgs and all that. And they were evil as well. And so Mark is not too happy about that. They are happy that they were able to free the heroes and they were able to topple the foes. But you using killers and stuff. It's like, so this is what you doing, Cecil? So he goes to confront Cecil. And Cecil was like, well, you killed people before. Like, so you want me to lock you up as well and do this and that. And he ends up like moseying along, and Mark is following him. He goes into the White Room. And so he's like, wait, why are we in here? For my protection. From what? From you, Mark. And then all the cyborgs come. So that is how that episode ends. So Cecil is about to get the task force from, and like he has a plan to go against Mark if Mark would ever defect or whatever. So he about to fight Mark with different cronies or whatever. But they usually do have a cut scene, and the cut scene is Alan the Alien and Omni-Man, and they are forging a little bond and stuff, man. Like Alan the Alien is trying to convince Omni-Man to get out and them to go and stuff, and Omni-Man, like he's missing his wife and stuff like that. Like he's going to become a bigger part of the story overall. Him and Alan the Alien and stuff, man. So that's a cool little part. So that is episode 1, man. Episode 2. Let's check it out. So we are on to episode 2. And this one right here is A Deal with the Devil. And it starts off, man, they got a throwback scene. They rewind time. And we see a young Cecil. And he was very idealistic right back in those days, man. He was on his grind, doing his job. Like, he was a dog in the field. Like, he sacrificed a lot. Like, he took down these fake Iron Fist characters or whatever. And, like, you see why it has them scars on his face. Like, that's synthetic skin. Like, he got everything melted off of him. Like, that's some sacrifice right there. And then he still didn't bow down to anything, because he went back to work and he was doing this thing, and they reanimated. It looked like them, because them people, they skin burned off as well. So I thought they died, but somehow they brought them back, and they were like, yo, that's villains and stuff. Like, in the director, his current job that he has, well, it was for somebody else at the time, and they did the same thing that Cecil was doing now, and try to rehabilitate villains or whatever. And they were worth more alive than dead, and so I needed them for fights like this. And Cecil kills him, and he ends up going to the pen and stuff. And we see like things he went through, how his mind worked at that time. Like, that was his rise to power. He was very much like Mark in those days and stuff, man. So like, he wasn't always the person that he is, but he had to develop into that to do the job that he has to be able to save the world. It's like you can be the good guy or you can be the person that saves the world, but you can't be both. We are fast forward to them in the White Room. And so he's talking to Cecil and he's like, I'm not gonna back down. Like, I stand by my beliefs in whatever. And he's like, alright. So he sicks the cyborgs on him. And Mark is tearing their ass up. He like, that's all? That's all you got? I really wish he didn't say that, kid, because now they have so many cyborgs. And Mark is ready to, he like, I'm still not backing down. I'll fight all of them. And then Mark, whenever they was talking, he was like, why are you scared? Like, I'm not threatening you or anything. Eventually, Mark is like, yeah, now I'm threatening you. And Cecil always has a plan B and stuff. Whenever they helped Mark out a previous time, they implanted something in his inner ear. And they have a button. And it pretty much takes him out. Takes him out, man. It's some kind of frequency. It was an inner ear transplant or whatever, implant. And tears him up. But he does end up getting out. And he goes to the Guardians for help. And Cecil, you know, he be teleporting and stuff. And he goes, this is none of y'all business. Y'all back up. Like me and Mark, we gonna handle this. And they see the ugly things that Cecil is doing. They see him pressing the button and trying to kill Mark and stuff. And a lot of them, well, pretty much all of them, they go against that. And they help Mark at the time. And so they beating on these cyborgs and all that. Yo, whenever Mark finally gets out of his little current predicament with the inner ear thing, the robot blocks the frequency. Phew, things get crazy. Mark, yo, he shows that he that dude. He beats the hell out of these things. And then he like, man, take this out of my head now. And I think at this point, like, everybody like, damn, Mark is Invincible. Is, yeah. I think they trust him and they happy that he on their side. But I think someone probably had like a little bit of fear as well. But the Guardians, they getting their thoughts as well at this time. And it's like, man, if he gonna do that to Invincible, he gonna do that to Mark, why wouldn't he do that to any of us, man? And you see the people that he working with. So half of them, they disband. So the Guardians seem like they are no more, at least the current regime of them. So they're gonna have to bounce back and get new members or whatever. Eve, we see her in this episode and she is in school. And it's like, why would Eve be in school? Like, she can do all this and that. If you pay attention to the old episodes and stuff, man, like, she did repair certain things in certain places. But being that she doesn't have any architectural skills or knowledge, it wasn't stable in things. So she like rebuilt a building and like put the atoms and did this, but it wasn't up to code. And the things end up messing up and hurting people and stuff. So she wants to get some real life knowledge. And so whenever she does like use her powers in that manner, she knows exactly like how to do it as far as like structural integrity and all that. So that's why she's in school at the moment. So as far as the Guardians, talked about like you have to get different regimes, different people and stuff. They recruit Darkwing. So like he's an ex-person, like he was a killer and stuff. He went to this Phantom verse or whatever, and it made him dark. So we're gonna see how that does, if he really is rehabbed or not. At the end, we see whenever Cecil first recruits Nolan. And so he sees him. He's out there kicking ass and stuff. And they watching him on the satellite. And they're like, I'm going to go talk to him. They're like, shouldn't you send Immortal? And he's like, Immortal leads with his fist. Like, this person right here, we need to know if they are friendly or not. And if they are willing to help. And from that moment on, that was crazy. Because Cecil went to go talk to Nolan. And then they checked out like on the feed, the replay, and they seen that he was lying at the time, but there was like nothing they could do about it. They like, well, we're gonna allow him to help as long as we can, but we kind of know he's lying, but let's do some reconnaissance or whatever and see if we can find his weaknesses or anything like that. So that's pretty much how the episode ends. And then at the end credits on this one, Mark and Eve finally talks again. He's like, man, look, I know I came at you wrong the other time. And while I was going through my predicament and I thought that I was about to die, all I could think about was you. So I know it's not because somebody from the past or from the future came to talk to me or whatever. Like, this is actually how I feel. And I hope that we can try this. And he pretty much spills his heart to her. And she agrees. So at that moment on, so the end credit, they end up finally dating. So it's Mark and Eve, episode 2. So man, one more episode left, and then from this moment on, it's gonna be weekly, and I'm pretty sure gonna be one episode at a time. But I'm happy that they dropped these 3 episodes. Did I necessarily want to watch 3 episodes at this point? Like, I probably would have waited, but I wanted to try to do it fast as possible for the video. Anyways, episode 3, still gotta watch that. So let's get to it. So we are on to episode 3. You want a real costume, right? So that's the name of this episode. And man, sometimes people are just down on their luck. Like, that's how this episode starts off, man. We see these 2 different characters, and one has like some heating powers or something. The other one, I don't know what the hell comes out of his chest or whatever. And they robbing places. They do get away at a time. And you see them, they want to do better in their lives. They get jobs and they start doing a little better and stuff. And then they get laid off and different things happen to make them go back into crime. And so we see Mark tackle these people. And you kind of sympathize with him. You like, damn, like Mark is doing his thing. But like he just like obliviously going in and kicking their ass. But it's like, they did choose to do that, but it took a lot of things for them to get there. But they as strong as Mark has been and stuff, man, like certain parts of this season, like right now, they got like people that are very inferior to him, like standing up to him when they shouldn't, because they showed how strong he is. And like this person raps that whatever rap around him and contains him, but then Oliver comes on the scene and not saves the day, but like helps him or whatever, and it distracts him enough for Invincible Mark to kick their ass. But yeah, so that's how that starts off, man. Like just talking about like just villains and stuff and how they get there. So we see Amber again. She's still in college. She's doing her thing. She meets up with Eve. They get to talking and chatting and stuff, and she wasn't all the way surprised about Mark and Eve getting together. Like, she kind of seen it, like everybody else seen it except for those 2. So, but it's cool for them to just have her on the show, like an actress, a voice actress or something, not necessarily losing a job, like still being able to get a little check or something. So that's cool. The ousted members of the Guardians, so they do find a base, like Rex and all them, like duplicating them. They left, I mean, they stayed with the original Guardians, but we see Rex and them, they went to the old base that they used to have in the city, and they are renovating it, I guess you could say that. But it's nice to see them still sticking together, not all going solo or whatever. So it's still some heroes, just not all together. So it's just different factions, like kind of like East Coast, West Coast Avengers or something like that. There's a little small part in the episode I want to talk about. It's not nothing super important, but they have like this criminal organization, and it seems like called the Order. So they got this black dude or whatever, and they talking to him about like yeah, you gotta follow the order and stuff, and he's like not necessarily wanting to get with the program, but I just want to mention them because I'm pretty sure they're gonna become a bigger thing, kind of like maybe Batman, like the Owls or something like that. Oliver gets a new costume, so they bring him to art. He gets his costume and stuff, and he wants to be Omni-Man. Like, yeah, you can't necessarily be Omni-Man because the world knows that he like tore up the original Guardians and whatever, killed a lot of people. So that would not be a good name. But we see Mark finally gets his new costume as well. So he's looking a little darker, but it's dope. And he gets his costume just in time for a fight to break out. And he has to go and do his thing. Debbie is on her dates with Paul and stuff. And she decides to be all the way honest with him. She like, look, Nolan wasn't honest with me back in my relationship, and that took us apart. So I want to be honest with you from the jump. And our first date, a lot of things rubbed me the wrong way because I was holding so much in. But like, Mark is invincible, and Nolan was omni-man, and all this. And homeboy like, wow, this is like too much for me. I'm just a regular person. But she's like, I'm cool. That's what I want. I want like a regular person with a good heart, because I had like the shit dude with all the power in the world, and like, yeah, that wasn't the best situation in the world. But it's messed up because now Mark's secret is out there when he didn't necessarily put it out there. So that's like a little breach of trust. A little thing of note, Eve's parents, they ain't shit. And I think like her real name is Samantha, but everybody call her Eve because Adam Eve or whatever. But like, yeah, her parents ain't shit. Like, they can't, not necessarily they, but the father just can't stand her because she got powers. Like, that's whack. And then she can make like gold out of thin air and stuff, man. Like, I'd be like, man, look, do your thing. Do your thing, man. Like, let's pay some of these bills. Let's ball out a little bit. Shit, he working at burger spots and shit, man. I'll be goddamn. But anyways, so, and then speaking of home or whatever, Mark, he is stretched thin. Like, he talks to Eve and talk about all the drama and stuff he going through, like with Oliver, and Oliver is doing things, and he doesn't know how to maintain with him. His mother then gave a secret identity out, Cecil, and just everything going on is too much for him at the moment. But then the Guardians, they get whipped up. The Mauler twins beat the brakes off of them. And then they have some certain guns that turn off their nervous system or whatever. They kick their ass. Mark rose up on the scene. And like I said, like, they not consistent, because it's as strong as Mark has gotten, like, he should have went in there and just ran through the Mauler twins easily. And they pretty much like incapacitated him. And Oliver came through, and when Oliver was punching him, like, he broke homeboy's jaw right away, and this and that. But then they end up shooting their rocket in the sky. So Invincible takes off after the rocket, but Oliver stays back, and you like, oh, the Mauler twins about to kill Oliver. Nah, like, Oliver kills them, like, with no thoughts. Like, he runs right through one of them, and then the other one, he like, yeah, I give up. Nah, I'm good. Wow. Goes through and hits him with a Mortal Kombat fatality. Just in time for Mark to get back, and Cecil is there, and it's like, I told you to stay away from my family. I just came to clean up your brother's mess. Look what happened. You like, and it makes Mark seem a little hypocritical, because he's like, these people are killers and stuff, and I can't be around them. He also killed somebody, but it was an accident. But he sees his brother, and like, he a cold-blooded killer. And then Oliver takes off, and so he shoots out after Oliver. And Oliver is, at the beginning of the episode, he was flying very slow and stuff like that, trying to train. Like, he is getting better quick. Like, he is getting stronger. He is getting faster. He is getting more brutal. And now Mark has to think in the back of his mind, is this somebody I'm going to have to watch out for? Like, my father Nolan was somebody I was going to have to fight to save the world. Is Oliver going to be somebody that I'm going to have to watch out for? Because the way he's progressing in his mind frame, like, he is just like my father. He has no remorse at all. So it is something that he's going to have to go through and think about. But Debbie ends up talking to Oliver and stuff, and she seems to get through to him a little bit at the end of the episode. And they see a drone outside, and Mark grabs the drone, it explodes, but we see somebody. Oh, what a lovely family. It is like, who is that? It kind of sounds like Angstrom Levy, but he was killed. So it's like, who is this mystery figure or whatever? But we gonna find out next episode, man. But that is episode 1 through 3 of Invincible, man. Like me just talking about it. Like I know they probably got a million people doing this online or something, but it's something that I did. I did all the seasons and stuff, so I really don't do this on the channel. But once I start something, I want to like continue, just for the few people that might have came along on this journey. So I don't want to leave y'all hanging. But what y'all thought about these episodes, man? I'm thinking that the way that they did this, they're gonna just go straight through the season. They're not gonna go like 1 through 4 and then quit and then come back, because that's basically gonna just leave one more week until a break. And I don't think they're gonna do that. But anyways, man, so like, comment, subscribe, gonna be a great. Some more, man. Holla at your boy. Peace.